Hi, I'm Yashwant. Welcome to the YASWANTH Palaghat show. The theme of our today's episode is environment and the need for sustainability. So we all know today is the World Environment Day. It's good to talk at least once in a year about environment and sustainability, so that our future generations will get benefit out of it, at least in a minor manner. So whatever the actions that we take today will be the reactions in the future. You all know when we are getting oxygen for free, we never care about it, like so. But we are spending lakhs for the same oxygen now. Here comes the concept called sustainability. And for today's episode, we have a guest with us. She is Sri Vaishnavi Korlakonda, master student in the stream of environmental engineering. She's studying in Stockholm, Sweden. So hi Vaishnavi, I'm good to have you here. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good as well, but a bit, worried about the situations in India.
Yeah. So, like I just introduced you about what you are doing currently. So, can you introduce more about yourself?
Yes, I'm, as Yash said, Vaishnavi Korlakunta. I did my bachelor's in civil engineering, and then my interest in sustainability increased as I worked in sustainability in my campus during my bachelor's. So that is how I chose environmental engineering and sustainable infrastructure now. So I currently study at the Royal Institute of Technology in Sweden, which is a very good institute, well known for sustainability studies.
Cool. So, I mean, today's episode is completely about sustainability. So, like, I want to know your views on what actually sustainability is according to you, and what's the need for sustainability, why everyone needs to include a lifestyle which matches with sustainability, and all this. It's up to you now, so you can take over.
Yeah, sure. So sustainability, as UN says, it's considering the future lifestyles, future generations in our lifestyle. But my personal opinion of sustainability is not being guilty of how you are living and what you are consuming. So I would say sustainability like that. But then every person I feel should be equally aware of how they are consuming. As today we are more focusing on a sustainable lifestyle and how people could include it. I would like just to start my description with a few complexities in how environment is. Normally, when we say environment and people being responsible for environment, we just stop at planting trees. But but
Yeah.
but there is a lot to it. Not just planting trees, and of course, trees are important. To they have a very key role in environmental ecosystem balance, but then there are a lot of things too that we are not aware of. We see climate crisis, which is the carbon footprint and the CO2 levels in environment. Now, the safer level is 350, but today, as of today, 20 on the Environment Day, it's 420 ppm. So we should be at least aware of all these kind of things which are happening every day, and how we should actually think of what we can do and what we should do and what impacts the future generations. So if we keep on having our unsustainable and not careless lifestyles as today on a personal level, and also how the governments are dealing with sustainability and environment, definitely our future is going to be in risk. Coming to the complexities between climate, ecology, health, and food, all these are interrelated. When we say environment, it's just not environment, but there are several aspects, multidisciplinary aspects, which are very closely related to it. For instance, say food, 83% of the land that we use for agriculture is used just to feed animals and livestock, and those animals for our consumption in return. But they just provide 12% of the whole food that we eat. But there are n number of people who are dying without food. Is this not unfair? Is this not something we should think of? And coming to water, if you take a plant based diet, for 1 kg of meat or chicken, it takes around 5,000 liters of water. Is that not unsustainable? And in India, there are several people who don't even have access to pure drinking water. And India is the second largest exporter of beef and leather. And for beef, it's around 7,000 liter of water for 1 kg production. Like this 7,000 liter, this kind of water is called virtual water for all the audience to break it into normal common terms. That is virtual water. That is the water imbibed in the whole production. Like if you take 1 kg of chicken, the chicken needs to be all the water that is included in the chicken's manufacturing. That means the water that is needed to grow the food that is needed for the chicken to eat, the cereals and whatever. And it also includes the water which is necessary for cleaning it, and also the water which is needed in whole of the maintenance of it, and also in the transport and all these things. So all these things together, all this water consumption together is called virtual water, and it is so high when you take animal-based diets. And 75% of all the new diseases that we are getting are zoonotic, coming from animals. So this awareness, I think this is the bare minimum that everyone should have. And for food and our lifestyles, we are cutting down forests. And if we keep on consuming food like this, we'll be removing all the habitats of all other species. Man should find a right balance between being egoistic and egocentric towards ecology.
Yeah.
Man should definitely stop thinking that he is supreme, but he is one of the all the ecosystem, one in all other species. And that COVID-19 has COVID-19. I could say it is a very good eye opener for all of our human beings.
So, like adding to your point, so if we continue, animal-based diet for 10 to 15 years, so there is an assumption that 50% of the water resources that we have currently, we will lose them. So, what's your take on this?
Yes, obviously, that is what I normally insist people on. It's not just about environment. Is like some only higher institutions can do it, only governments can do it, and whatever we does, it is just a drop in the ocean. But just start contributing the drop. That is what I would say.
Okay.
A single person turning into a plant-based diet may not change the whole carbon footprint into like carbon ppm into 420 towards 350. But then it has an impact, and you will feel satisfied, and you will not have that guilt.
Yeah.
You have been consuming a lot. Not just food, in the other aspects as well. Every person should think of access over ownership. We should stop this consuming patterns, and not just food, in even in other things that we consume also. This consumeristic lifestyle should change. I don't mean a sustainable lifestyle is not just turning into organic products or turning into biodegradable products. It's more than that.
Yeah.
We should at least think of what we are consuming, where it is coming from, what footprint it has on environment, and what footprint it has on economy also.
True.
So this sharing economy is well needed, and the 4 aspects I would say for a sustainable future are collaborative or sharing economy, where people prefer access over ownership. It's like, okay, I need a computer. I need a computer like twice or thrice in a month. So I would buy it. That kind of ideology and thinking process should change. We just need to have access. That's enough. But owning things should change.
Yeah.
And the other thing I would say is having local self-sufficiency. Me personally, as a vegan, if you would ask me, would you eat vegan mayo, which is produced in Australia, in Sweden? I, as an environmental engineer or a person concerned about environment, I would say no. Because what's the point of turning vegan? What's the point of thinking you're having a sustainable lifestyle when you are consuming things which are produced far away and which takes a lot of lot of footprint to come here.
True.
So local self-sufficiency is very much needed. this transportation has high footprint on environment. So I would say everyone to eat local, to produce, to eat local produce. Anything, not just food, but also the rest of the things.
Like
And
I would also believe that, like, sorry for interrupting you. So, and the way of sustainability and the sustainable lifestyle should come from the student level itself. So when we ask about sustainability to a student who is studying computer science, so when we ask them, say, it's not my part, because there are environmental engineers, there are sustainable people who need to care about it, and there are scientists who need to produce some sustainable way of lifestyle. But it's not every student and even every kid needs to understand this point.
exactly. Normally, sustainability or environment, they say, okay, environmental engineers deal with it. We don't have a take on it. Or some other people will do it. Environmental NGOs would do it. What is in me for to do? But I actually feel yes, in every student's life, we of course have in my bachelor's we had environmental studies, which is a mandatory subject for all the streams of engineering. But then
Yeah.
it is just at a basic level. But that's not up to today's world.
Yeah.
So I feel sustainability is environmental studies is an older version, but we should shift towards sustainability and how to impart sustainability in other streams of engineering studies or work or whatever it is. So I also feel institutions. I would like to tell you what institutions could do to be sustainable and to show their responsibility towards environment. They could do in every events or functions they celebrate. We have this term called climate compensation.
Okay.
Like you can go to an environmental agency or you yourself. There are several lots of websites available where you can calculate the climate impact that your particular the celebration is costing you. The celebration, or it could be a small gathering also, small event also. You can calculate the climate compensation there. You could donate that to the NGOs or the institutions which work for sustainability. There are lots of them out there. So that thing, institutions, organizations, or corporates also could do. And also at a student level, I could say, as we previously talked, environmental studies are made mandatory, but then sustainability studies, taking a leap forward, also should be made mandatory. And I would say every college should have a chapter with as students for sustainability. I personally have a lot of interest in it, and I look forward to work in that domain. So
Great.
every college can have a club. Lots of colleges I know have nature clubs, but then they are just restricted to planting trees and having some lectures on sustainability. But we should go
Yeah.
forward. We should make
Yeah.
sustainability in every practice of the college. We should imbibe it. So what students could do is sustainability is not just about consumption, but I feel it is more about the mindset also.
True.
It's not just environmental sustainability, but also how sustainable your thoughts are,
Yeah.
how consistent your thoughts are. So I feel student clubs are mandatory, and what they could do is they can work on changing their campus into green campus. I personally have worked in my bachelor's of and turning my college into a green campus. There we not just we don't green campuses doesn't just mean campuses with lots of vegetation and greenness, but then it has several other aspects to it. Like you could have some policies in campus itself, plastic free policies. We know plastics have a lot of. I don't want to talk more about it
Yeah.
because everyone knows how worse it is. Uh,
True.
I would actually want to say one thing here. I would suggest all the girls to shift to non-plastic menstrual practices. So it has the plastics which they use in the menstrual products. It takes 500 to 800 years, and that is normally people see it is inevitable and it is mandatory. But then there are very sustainable products other than these. You can use biodegradable. Not, I just don't want to say biodegradable ones, but rather you could use reusable ones, and also you could use tampons and menstrual cups. I actually want to emphasize that here. And also at a student level in college, for turning their campus into green campus, they can include environmental studies, not just stuffing it environment, but then moving to sustainability. They could also go to schools and colleges, other schools and colleges, and then introduce this sustainability to them as well.
Yeah.
They could bring awareness in students, like they could go to school students and then talk to them about sustainability and what crisis we are today. And also they could include very small practices like non-plastic policies on campus and not using paper. Just one practice of setting all the printers two-side default, like every printer not on a print, not just printing on a single side but printing on a two sides by default, saves almost half of the paper.
Yeah.
And every person not just drinking cool drinks with the peg bottles, they can have a reusable cups, like every student gets their own cup, has their own cup, and fills in whatever coffee or cool drink, whatever they take, fills in that. So these kind of very small practices, these look like very small things, but believe me, a lot of change. They'll bring in a lot of change. These practices, which I have personally did in my bachelor's, have intrigued me to take environmental engineering as my major. So I feel these small changes could be implemented very easily. And I was previously telling the four things for sustainability I see for future are: one is the collaborative and sharing economy, and the other one is local self-sufficiency, and also making things automatic, or like automation for life, and then a circular economy. These four things I could see every person should think where they could implement these in their lifestyles, and also being aware of what they are consuming, where it is coming from.
Correct.
So yes, we can obviously change how the way we farm, how the way we eat, how the way we think about environment, and also how the way we treat nature. Um, I would want to like conclude by saying we
Yeah.
should treat our Mother Earth not like Mother Earth anymore, but as Daughter Earth, because we take from our mother and give limitlessly and inboundly to our daughter. This is told by Wangari Maathai, the famous environmental activist. So yeah, and happy World
Yeah.
Environmental Day.
Have covered some like most valuable points. Like in general, there is a misconception about sustainability. Like when we talk about sustainability, everyone will imagine as greenery and deforestation, all the stuff. Like even if I fail to put a green colored thumbnail or green colored background, people will not see the video because they think sustainability and is all about saving trees. That's it. And yeah, you have covered most of the other eye-opening things. Like yeah, and thanks for being
And
here.
also, there
Like
should be a lot of things
yeah,
that could be implemented at a policy level from governments and higher level institutions. But what I have most told is what a common man and a common student could do, or a corporate employer could do. Yes.
great. So thanks Vaishnavi for being here. So you have shared valuable insights, and yeah, this is a need of the day. At least once in a year, if we remember and we talk about sustainability and environment,
No,
and
no,
people
it's
like you
not.
will,
No more once in a year. We should like think of it every second and every minute, uh, uh,
yeah,
in every act we do. That's very important.
and
That's
resolutions
need of
are
the
being taken at least once in a year, right? So
yes,
there are people who never care about sustainability, who never care about protecting environment. At least some of the people who are watching videos in my channel. In general, I would not produce content, I mean general content in my channel, but I thought of, because as I have more than 3K subscribers, if at least 100 or 200 will get benefit out of it and will learn something out of sustainability, then it's a great move. So it's the reason why I invited you, and I thought you would be a
yes,
great fit.
yes. Thank you, Yash. It's my pleasure also to be here in the part of your show. Any one of the audience, if they wanted to connect to me, they can obviously get to me on Facebook. Yes.
Sure, sure. I will share your
Thank you.
link in the description.
Yeah. Thank
Yeah.
you.
And thank you everyone for watching this. I hope you like this video, and please share this video to in your people in your network or your family or friends. At least so that at least some will take some resolutions and will get aware of what actually sustainability is. Thanks again.